Welcome to my craft table. Hi guys, this is Jamie Magrich coming to you from Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'd like to show you how I made this box. It's a little diamond fold box. It opens up like this. There's nothing in it right now, but I've seen it online. It's not my original idea, but I did change the sizes so I could use a standard size sheet of paper from the US. And let's get started. I'll show you what we're going to need. We're going to start with a 10 1/8 by 7 1/2 inch piece of this is pumpkin pie cardstock. So it's 7 1/2 inches by 10 1/8 inch. This is a scrap piece. This is the other piece that cut off of it. There's another one over here. So that's 8 1/2 by 11, and I just cut these two pieces off. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do, pick this up, is take our scoring tool, and with the 7 1/2 inch side at the top, we're going to score at 3/4 of an inch from the top of the card to the bottom at 3 inches, and at 5 1/4 inches. Okay, we're going to turn it so that that little 3/4 inch side, can you see the score there? It's at the top, and we're going to score at 2 1/4 inches, only to the second score line though, not all the way down. You'll see there's two score lines. So you can see 1, 2. So we're only going to score to that score line. 2 1/4 inches, 4 1/2 inches, 6 3/4 of an inch, and 9 inches. Then we're going to turn it. We're not going to pick it up, we're just going to turn it so that that smaller side is at the bottom. And then we're going to do the same scores again. However, this time we're only going to that first score line there. You see it? So this is what it looks like now. Now we're going to score from this edge to this score line. Okay, so now we're going to score again at 2 1/4, just to that score line. 4 1/2, 6 3/4, and 9 inches. Okay, now we're going to move the scoring tool out of the way. I'm going to bring in a ruler. And from these points, I'm going to draw lines from these points to this corner, from this point to this point to this point. So we're going to make diamond shapes or triangle shapes in this section here. Let me see if I can zoom in just a little bit so you can maybe see it better. Oops, that's too far. Right there would work. Okay, so I'm going to take my stylus, and I'm going to take a ruler, and I'm going to line up the stylus with that point, line up the stylus with that corner, or the ruler, and I'm going to score. And I'm going to do that direction all the way across, and then I'll come back and do the other direction. Okay, so I'm going to find the next vertical score line, the next one here. And I'm going to score. Go to the next one, do the same thing. The next one, do the same thing. And this one is from the top one to this edge here. Okay, then we're going to go back and do it the opposite direction. This to this, this to this, this to this, this to this. Okay, so that one, that one. This one to this one. This one to this one. This one to this one. Okay. So it looks like this. Oops, focus. Okay. Now we've got to remove a couple pieces. So we're going to remove this section here, this section here. Then we're going to cut up from the edge to the score line here, 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 and here, here, and here. So let's do that real fast. So on this side here, see the little score line here? I'm going to cut up here and over to there. And you want to cut the actual score line away. So cut to the right side of it. That's that one. Let me zoom back out just a little bit. Okay. Now I want to cut off this one here. Okay, then I'm going to cut up these. And I'm actually going to cut the score line away. So I'm going to cut on either side of the score line. Just makes it fit together better. And then I got that little piece there. Okay. This isn't necessary. You can cut right up the center of the score line. I just find it looks nicer when I do this. Turn it around. We're going to do the same thing on this side. We're just going to cut up these score lines. Now, it's going to be this way. You have the box here, you've got this little funny shape there. We're going to actually remove this tab altogether. So just cut this one right off. Okay, this tab and this tab, we're going to cut this square right in half. You can just cut it to here, that's fine too. I find it's going to give us a little nicer piece that way. Now this piece that we cut off, we're going to save. We're going to trim it down. Because we're going to use that in the inside of the box. I didn't do it very straight. But. Okay, so now we're going to crease on all of our fold lines. These ones are going to go backwards. Each one of them, crease it back, nice and crisp. Open it back up. Okay, Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 full triangles and a partial triangle. This partial triangle, we're going to put some glue on, or I'm going to go ahead and use my tape, tear and tape. Okay, burnish it down, take the backing off, fold over so it's okay. Now we're going to line up this edge of that fold with this edge of that triangle. You want to make sure that this score line and this score line here line up. So that's the top of our box. It's the only fiddly part. Okay. Alright. There's that part. Okay. Now this is going to be the top of the box along with this little flap here, so these flaps will go in. This flap will go in. But you'll see how it's got those tapers there, so we need to do little triangular snips there so that that can go inside the box. So that's going to be the front. So we want to put these ones down, and all three of these we're going to put a little bit of tear tape on the inside there. Scissors are probably better. Okay, so this is the front, so we want to put those ones down last, so we'll put that one down. Get that off of there. It's the hardest part. Pull this one over. This one over. And fold this one over. Okay, so that's the bottom of our box. And this will be the top of our box. Okay, so we've got that cute little diamond shape. Okay, so now we're gonna bring in our paper, take your pick tool with the pointy tip thing. We're going to find the center of this box. We're going to poke it through. Be careful, don't poke yourself. Okay, then I've got a piece of the copper trim. It's that one that looks like mesh. It's 6 inches long, and I've just tied a knot in the end of it. I'm going to take a piece of this scrap paper. I'm going to cut a little strip. I just want a little bit shorter. And I'm going to put the tear and tape on it. So you want it to be at least as wide as your tear and tape. Okay. From the inside of the lid, I'm going to thread this string or this ribbon through the hole. You might need to poke it with your pokey tool or something. Okay, and before you pull it all the way through, this piece that that little strip, we're going to slide it through the slot of the ribbon. See? I'm going to take this back off. Probably would have been easier to take the back off before I slid it through there. Comes. Oh, don't pull out. Okay. Then we're going to pull this ribbon tight around that and tack it down, and that's going to hold that ribbon from pulling out, because that's will probably be the pull tie of your lid. And that square that we cut earlier needs trimmed down just a little bit more. Let's trim it a little bit more. Use your paper trimmer or whatever so that it's more straight. And I'm just going to use it liquid glue. Glue that over the top of that to hide all that mess. Alright. Come on. And this tucks in there. There's your box. Now we're going to decorate it. Now I've taken some of these scraps. Actually, it's different paper because it's a different color, and I've cut out a couple of the leaves, the small leaves from the Colorful Seasons, the dies that matches it. I just cut out 2, and I'm going to stamp one on Whisper white paper and cut that out. And I'm just going to use pumpkin pie ink. Ink it up, and I'm going to take, where did it go? Alright, I've lost the marker, so take a real red. I just used the marker and scribbled it a little bit on the block, the Stampin' Right marker, but I think it's fallen down into my trash. I want to take the time to look for it, and then I take a sponge dauber. You can pick it up directly from the ink pad, but I just sponge on a little bit of that, stamp it. Perfect. And then I'm going to go and cut it out on my die cutting machine, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. That's what that looks like after I've cut it out. Close up the sink pad. And then I'm going to take that same dauber on these orange ones and just sponge a little bit around the edges. These orange ones are just some scrap paper that I had in my box. It's not Stampin' Up! It's a Nina textured paper that I've gotten at Tuesday morning, I believe. Okay, now we're going to use those to decorate the top of our box. And we're going to take and pull these apart a little ways to make it look like those leaves from a pumpkin. They've got those leaves with the little, see, like that. One side, the other side will leave the straight so that it looks like the stem. We'll bring in a couple dimensionals. And one more for this one. There you go, there's our pumpkin. Cute little pumpkin box. You could put faces on it or whatever. I just was playing with what I had on hand. I haven't got my pre-order yet. It should come tomorrow. It's quite a large size. How I came up with this size on this one is this is the original size. It would use a 7 7/8 by 11.5 inch. So you'd need a 12-inch piece of paper, and I wanted to use my 8.5 by 11, and so it has to be 5 boxes wide, and they're squares because this is a half one here, and then there was a half one over here. We cut a little bit off of this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half, and another half over here. So 5 boxes wide, and then 3 boxes tall. This one's a little narrower, so it comes out a little squattier. It looks like this one. This one I added just this little tab here to open it up with. Like this one. See how it's squattier? This one's a little bit taller. It's about the same height as this box, but for the size of the paper, it's a little bit taller. So you can make it any size you want. You just have to figure out how wide it is. 5 boxes wide, or this one is 4.5 boxes wide, and then they have to be opposite each other. Like this center of this box is over the seam of this box. There's tutorials on it online. But, well, there you go. Well, thank you for joining me at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day.